put a ribbon in my hair and I feel like I'm channeling Belle vibes. I'm not mad about it. Welcome back to the Sandra Page Things. I'm Sandra and we are still going through my February finance series. And today we're going to do a little update on the finance focused books that I've been reading this month. Now, I will also include 2 books that I am reading long term, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and also this holiness devotional that I will be reading throughout 2020, like finance and leadership focus. There is one that's businessy, but I'm saying finance and leadership focus. These are the ones that I've done reading in this week. I'm not going to say what I've finished or how far I am into them until the end of this video, but I will just give you guys a quick recap of the books. So we have Economics in One Lesson, One in a Million, which is not finance focused. If you saw my TBR, you know why this is in here. Capital Gains, Excellence Wins, and Multipliers. This week I had a lot of vlog style reading footage, and I really wanted to maintain the integrity of that. I wanted to keep all the excitement, the boredom, the happiness, the sadness, all the stuff that went into this week. I wanted to really keep as much of that as possible, so it's a bit of a longer video, but I edited it down from 70 minutes of vlog footage to 30, so I hope that you enjoy what you're about to see. And with that, we'll go ahead and get into the vlog from the week. Hey everybody, so just a little update. I read a little bit. Where did my books go? They slid. Yesterday I read 2 more devotionals to catch up in this. Read the rest of our reading for the week in this. And then I read another chapter in this. It's a rainy day, so I'm thinking about either finishing this one today or working on getting this one, because this one's probably going to be the most challenging for me to stay focused on. And so I'm thinking that if I was like really in the reading zone, this might be something that I could finish today and then just like be done with that. And then also Multiplier. Like that's a really thick book. I mean, it's not a huge book, but for a nonfiction, like action-oriented book, it's pretty big. So I want to wait on that one until I'm not reading quite so much. So like once I finish one of these and maybe even Excellence Wins for that. So we've got 3 more weeks on this one, I think. Yeah, so we will finish Excellence Wins in February, but our director was really wanting us to like take time through it, so I'm going to try not to just like speed through this one to finish it for February. But it's also so good that I really want to, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with our reading plan and just leave it alone. I'm probably going to start this one today and then try to get through as much of it as possible, because it's kind of it's an academic book, so it's not as exciting as some others. I feel like I'm just redoing my TBR, but then there are these 2, and I want to wait until I finish at least 1 or 2 of those. I will probably finish these 2 before starting on one of these. My plan also, so I say all of that to get to this. I have recently been introduced to the world of TBR games, and I really want to play one. And so I have some cups, some paper, and a pen, and I'm going to create my own game to use for March. However, the catch is, obviously it's not March yet, but what I'm going to do, my goal is to read 7 books in the month of March. Of course, more is obviously preferable, but at least 7. And so what I'm going to do is for every book that I finish on my February TBR, I will let myself choose one of the books, and I'm going to vlog it because I have a lot of different activities and different locations and just like a lot of criteria that's going to go along with this game. And so I'm going to vlog them one at a time so that it can kind of be like a really fun process to see what I'll read in March. that's exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. We're gonna read as much as possible. Of course, I'm going to start with my Psalms and Proverbs reading and my devotional, and I think I'm just gonna go for it with the economics in one lesson. So let's do Okay, so right now I'm reading this. I'm just going to read 2 chapters. I just read one and I wanted to share the quotes with you because I worry that like when I make my overall video that I'll miss some of this, and this chapter was just so good, so I wanted to share what I noted. I wrote, "You can't imagine this is what God had in mind for you when he brought you out of Egypt. In fact, it's pretty much what you've been praying against. No way he could have thrust you into this kind of situation unless you're being punished for some reason. I mean, doesn't he know you do your best running without all these obstacles in your way, without being constantly hounded by one problem after another? Seems like there should be a more direct route to abundant living. This one's awfully cluttered and confusing, eyeball to eyeball with all this stuff." And I noted this entire paragraph because it literally sounds like the narrative that I've been saying for the last few months. It's like this whole chapter, I can tell that she's been through a very similar situation to me because I could have written this. So the next quote, "It's not enough for you to be out of Egypt. God wants Egypt to be worked out of you." They being the Israelites. They needed to have a few things in their sight as well. Things they'd never have gone out looking for on their own, but things that convince a Canaan traveler abundant life can happen in real life. Job said to the Lord, "I have heard of you by the hearing of the ear, back when I was safe and secure in my happy, unhurried world, but now my eye sees you. Now I know you by experience." He, being God, was after the Israelites' minds. He was leading a whole race of people to a point where they could have a unified purpose, having God as their aim. And then I noted the verse that says, "Let my people go that they may serve me." You don't have to figure out the wilderness. You don't have to fix the wilderness. And I have the tendency to try to fix things and figure things out. And so that just stood out to me. Anybody who's followed my videos the last 2 months knows that it's been an incredibly difficult time in my life, but I totally relate to this, and I'm so glad that I saw this book suggested in a Facebook comment, and I happened to have it. I think that that's totally a God thing. I got this for a college graduation present, so almost 6 years ago. Yeah, it's perfect for right now. So I'm going to get back to reading this. I'm going to read one more chapter, and then I'm going to do it. I'm going to start economics in one lesson. All right, the rain is pouring harder, and the time has come to begin this. Hopefully the rain doesn't make me fall asleep in combination of this. Reminding myself I want the knowledge in my head. Let's do this. So just a quick update. I've read chapters 1 and 2. Chapter 2 was just like the front and back page, but chapter 1 was just the general lesson. And I'm going to go ahead and read that to you because the way that this book is set up, they give you the lesson up front and then apply it throughout the book. The lesson is, the art of economics consists in looking not merely at the immediate, but at the longer effects of any act or policy. It consists in tracing the consequences of that policy not merely for one group, but for all groups. And then chapter 2 just kind of explains how that works. Chapter 3 looks a bit longer, it's 2 pages, but these are actually really fairly short chapters. I'm just gonna keep going with this. I would love to finish it today. It's so far not my favorite style of writing or information, but I want the knowledge in my head. So I'm just gonna keep going with it and I'll get back to you guys later. Okay, so I have finished, where'd it go? I finished chapter 8, also page 50. My brain, like, it's not even a hard read. It's boring. It's frustrating because it has really good points, but it goes on and on and on about them. And I feel like the whole thing could be summed up in like 5 pages. And I'm sorry, it's just not my thing, but I'm gonna get through it. I don't know if I'm gonna finish tonight. I'd love to finish tonight, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna make me fall asleep. But I'm taking a break. I'm reading 4 chapters at a time, and then I take a break and do something fun. Sorry, that's terrible. I know people love this stuff. I think that it's interesting in theory, but then like actually reading, no. So anyway, I'm gonna go have fun now. Just a quick update. I'm sure some people appreciate this book, but it is so dull. I just feel like it's meant to be for people who have no economic background at all. I even took 2 college economics classes, and I'm just having a hard time like staying focused on it. But my goal is, no matter what, to finish it by the end of the night so I don't have to worry about it anymore, and then tomorrow I can start a book I really want to read. So, to motivate myself, I'm making some food and reading. Okay, just an update. I have to go wash my hair, but I am 4 chapters away from being done, but that's 40 pages. And it's really late. And I'm just so tired of it. Okay guys, so I literally just got back from babysitting. Update on the book. I read through chapter 22 of 24 last night, and it was like 1 a.m. and I just could not read anymore. I mean, I was zoning out worse than I was all day yesterday with this book. So I have 2 chapters left. I typically would read my Psalms and Proverbs and devotional and stuff like that before reading this book, but I just want to be done with it. So I'm going to read the rest of economics in 1 lesson, and then I'm going to read my typical Psalms, Proverbs, devotional, and then move on to a book I actually want to read. So we're going to do this. I have 25 more pages of this actual torture, but let's do it. It is done. And I'm done, because that was so just, no, this is not my kind of reading at all. I'm sure some people enjoy it. I've said this a million times, but for me, I kept losing focus and not paying attention to what I was reading, and just like, it was not connecting to me at all. But anyway, it's done. Book 1 of 6, check. And I do have some quotes that I liked that I will include in my wrap up at the end of the month, but at this point I'm just really happy this is over. So the next thing is Psalms and Proverbs reading. as well as my devotional, and then getting on with continuing this gem, which I'm actually enjoying, so I'm looking forward to reading this again. And I may also start on this today. We shall see. Definitely got to do my devotional, and I'm on Psalm 121 and Proverbs 7, so I definitely need to do that too. So I know that I was low-key so annoyed with the other book that I was reading, but this book is so good. It's definitely something that I would say I probably wouldn't appreciate as much if I wasn't going through these things right now. But since it's literally speaking to where I am right now, it's just so good. And I can't wait to share like my overall takeaways. I'm going to go ahead and share one or two quotes. I think what stood out to me the most is what I'm going to share. A lot of these are just me like reading without taking notes because it's that good. In this chapter, my favorite quote was, "Our natural slide into bitterness and anger can be caught by the rescuing hand of His grace." I think that was my favorite quote from that chapter. Second chapter, I did more reading than taking notes. "He brings bits of refreshment along just when He knows you need them." It's just so good. I don't have that much left. Oh no. Unlike the other book, where I was like literally counting how many pages left because I wanted it to end, this one I'm sad because I don't want it to end. And oh my gosh, I only have like 6 chapters left, so that's gonna be sad when that ends, but so good. And now I'm not sure if I want to go ahead and start Capital Gains because it's getting late. I have a very strong feeling that I'm going to enjoy this because I loved the Magnolia story. I have a feeling that's not going to be much different. So I'm torn. I might delve into this. We will see. I'll update you later. Okay guys, I am just going through, and sorry for the horrible like lines on the computer. I'm just going through and I'm just going through my comments on YouTube that I've written watching like other people's videos, and then literally just writing down any titles that sound interesting, except for I lost my pen. Where the heck did it go? What? I had it 2 seconds ago. Oh, I need to write down A Shiver of Snow and Sky. I love that I have been into BookTube and book-related videos lately. I just love that I've been into these, and I love the idea of bringing this into my channel because I feel like a lot of you guys really like my book-related videos, which I don't know, I guess I just wasn't expecting that, and I never really realized that like book-related videos were a thing. But I'm just really enjoying the whole process of like watching TBRs and watching wrap-ups and watching those kind of videos, and then, you know, reading personally. I'm not reading this book right now, but it's the closest one to me, but just like reading and talking about it. And I mean, the economics book was such a fluke. We hated that. But the other books that I'm reading, I love, and I'm just really excited about sharing this with you. And I love that it's kind of bringing my channel in the direction that a lot of my life I try to focus on, and that is just like constantly growing and getting better. And I like that that's kind of pushing my channel in that direction, even if not every video is book related or finance related, because we still are in a finance related series. I just like that that's kind of the theme that it's moving towards, because that's what I really like. I really like to encourage people and help people and teach. Those are my gifts, I guess you would say. And so I like that my channel is kind of going in that direction. Anyway,